Assalamu alaikum and a very good evening to class. In today's class, 28th of May 2021, we will be discussing about working drawing. A working drawing can be described into three parts. The first part is called the assembly drawing. The second part is called the sub-assembly drawing, which is the grouping of assembled parts that makes up the unit. The third part is called the component parts and detail drawing. This is the lowest level of drawing, which contains all information to make a part. Assembly drawing normally consists of all parts in their operating position, a part list, which is known as bill of material, that contains three parts. The first one is the drawing and the part number. The second one is the purchase part, and the third one is the sub-assembly part. The other important things in assembly drawing is known as the leader line with balloons, which is assigned to each part with a number inside a circle in a sequential order associated with the list of parts in the bill of material. This is an example of assembly drawing with a detailed information. Related to the right side, you can see the bill of material as well as the balloon with the part number. The balloons with the number has a leader line, and the leader line should always be parallel as possible and not cross with each other line. The balloons are placed either in a horizontal or in a vertical direction. In the bill of material, the numbers can either be ascending or descending. The list of the parts can be explained based on either items, description, the material, information, quantity, as well as the part number. This, for example, the part number for item number 4, which is in standard part, called the catalog, since the bolt is in a standard part. The assembly drawing, part list, bill of material is an itemized list of parts that makes up the assembly machine. The information in the bill of material can also be contained stock size of material, weight of the part. It can also contain the number assigned based on the size and the importance of the part. Most importantly, there are 4 important parts in the bill of material. The first one is the bill number. The second one is the name. The third one is the number required. The fourth one is the material. This is shown in the table on this right hand side. The definition of assembly drawing is shown how each part is put together. Question and answer. Does an assembly drawing normally shows dimensions? Not necessarily, but it must show how the part is assembled. How do we show the size of the individual parts? The detailed drawing shows based on orthographic projection and dimensions. These are the types of assembly drawing. The first one is known as the exploded assembly drawing. The second one is a general assembly drawing. And finally, the third one is the detailed drawing. The exploded view, shown on the right hand side here, is an explanation of all the parts combining, exploding, and used to determine how the installation will be done. This will help the unskilled workers able to join the parts together. This is an example of the exploded view of a hydraulic auto bleed down valve assembly. These are two information needed to explain the exploded assembly view. On the left hand side is the pictorial explanation, whereas on the right hand side is the finished product of a table. This is a representation of an exploded view based on orthographic representation. In general assembly, a section view is very important due to its needed to view the inside of an assembly, and also the parts where there are overlappings and fittings on the other parts. On the right hand side, you can see the overlapping of a screw inside a part. This is also an explanation of a general assembly or part. In pictorial view, you have just a single part, whereas in orthographic, you have balloons in a horizontal position, a leader, and also in orthographic parts, you also have the bill of material. Part number can either be ascending or descending, as I explained before. The part can also be placed either on the top right hand side or on the bottom right hand side, bottom left hand side, or either on the top right, on the top left, or on the bottom left. Dimensions related to the machine operation are also annotated, as well as shown here in this figure. This is an example of a general assembly without dimensions. Previously explained in the section view, the section hatch which is the lines that are diagonals, can also be explained based on the using larger area will show you larger hatch drawn using a 45-degree angle. The next larger will be a negative 45-degree angle material. Additional areas where there is a small parts, you can use 30 degrees to 60 degrees angle. For small areas, can be determined based on the distance between the hatch that varies between the parts. Detailed assembly drawing. The method on how to represent the detailed assembly drawing. The assembly drawing needs to have front, top, right side view, such as in the orthographic view? Yes. This is an example of a detailed drawing shown the bill of material, the balloons and the annotation, the dimension, as well as the orthographic drawing of the top view, front view, and the side view. Proper view selection also enables you to show the in single view if you have all the information required. In this case, if you have a section view, you can use the only single view. In overall, the detailed drawing must consist of the dimensions for all the features, the title block, which contains your name, your part drawn, your sheet number, part number, sheet number of sheet, dates, scales, and the required material. In working drawing package, a package of drawing that gives specific necessary to manufacture design must consist all this information. The part list, the name, the item number, material, and the quantity required. Say you have a assembly drawing of a certain part, like this one shown in front of you. This can be explained as an assembly drawing, but for detailed drawing, you need to add the dimension as well. This is an example of a detailed drawing shown in both parts, all parts. An extra note for assembly drawing must have information on the separate table that matches the number of the balloon if it does not fit in the assembly. So basically, if it doesn't fit in the assembly, you need to have additional numbers. Must contain all information and show where all the parts are located for the assembly. This is an example of an allowable place for bill of material. On the right side, you have the bill of material and also a number of all the information either surrounding the parts. Okay. This is an example of sub-assemblies, which is a set of working drawing, including in the detailed drawing of individual parts. For a number of balloons, or for the size of the balloons, one must consider the size between either 45 or 11 mm, 40.44 inches, or 11 mm, or 12 millimeters. And the size of the information numbers is either 3 mm to 5 mm. A part list or bill of material of parts of structure shown here are an example used in the AutoCAD or SolidWorks for this case. Together, we can say that the assembly section is necessary not only to show the cut surface, but also to distinguish between the adjacent parts, as well as showing the information needed in the hidden parts. The title and the record strips. These are an explanation of how the title block can also be represented. And before you finalize your drawing, you must first check the drawing. The final of the check should systematically review all the remaining errors. The first errors should be the soundness of the design, the choice of the views, either views you wish to include it, the dimensions with specific reference of repetition, the standard parts. If the interest is in economy, you must add the value or the currency, the notes specifically to refer your drawing, the clearance or the tolerances, and the title of the form information. If the drawing has been completed, you must also do a revision. The record must be shown who has done the drawing, whom has made the reviews and the changes. And if any changes is been done, you must track the revision number. The symbols should be added, such as obsolete, superseded by, or replaced by, or replaces. This is the simplifying drawing example. It makes sense to reduce the drawing cost by using practice to simplify the drawing. For example, you can use words to describe the practical. Do not show any unnecessary views. Use standard symbols for diameter, for example. Avoid elaborate pictorial views. List rather than draw the drawing of the bolts due to not make the views more complex. Omit unnecessary hidden lines. Omit unnecessarily duplicate lines or notes and letterings. Use only symbol representation, and use only CAD libraries that are given to you. A complete drawing should be used for pattern drawing as well. So a pattern drawing should not be either in pictorial or explanatory in nature. Therefore, it should be in detail, and not necessarily they are not in details as working drawing. That is all for today. This is an example of detailed drawing you can use for your exercises. Thank you very much.